Harold Harefoot, or King Harold I, was King of England for a short period of time. Harold was a son of King Canute and Elfgifu of Northampton. In 1016 his father set aside Elfgifu and married Emma of Normandy in a political marriage. This marriage resulted in another son being born, Harthacnut. With Harthacnut's birth, the succession became blurred, as it was now the destiny of Harthacnut to inherit his father's position. Harold was bypassed for succession despite being the oldest son. Emma of Normandy had been married to a previous English king, King Ethelred the Unready, and brought two more claimants to the English throne, sons Alfred and Edward. Harold bided his time. He became known by the nickname of Harefoot due to his speed and agility. In 1035, King Canute died, and Harthacnut inherited his thrones. He became king of Denmark and was immediately faced with the threat of Magnus I of Norway. Harthacnut focused his efforts on Scandinavia, leaving England vulnerable. Harold took the opportunity and seized the English crown for himself. Canute had willed that his possessions be divided evenly between his sons, but Harold took everything for himself. The Great Council in Oxford confirmed Harold as King of England in 1035, but he was not without opposition. The Archbishop of Canterbury refused to crown Harold, and instead offered to perform the ceremony without the sceptre and crown. In response, Harold denounced Christianity and refused to attend church until he was crowned king. In defence of her son Harthacnut, Emma of Normandy amassed a large support base and retained her power in Wessex. She acted as regent in Wessex, where she fought to access the power of the throne for her son. Her two sons from her marriage to Ethelred arrived back in England, having amassed a fleet in Normandy. However, they found little support, as many resented their father's reign. This situation proved ideal for Harold, as his stepmother remained alone, Harthacnut stuck in Denmark, and his stepbrothers without English support. In order to stabilise his grip on power, Harold ordered Earl Godwin to assassinate Alfred and Edward. He killed Alfred, and Edward narrowly escaped his fate and fled back to Normandy. In 1037, many of the English accepted Harold as king, despite the initial opposition from the Archbishop of Canterbury. Emma, now back on the continent, met with Harthacnut and planned to remove Harold from the throne. A few weeks before a planned raid on England, Harold died from illness on the 17th of March 1040. He was initially buried at Westminster Abbey. However, after Harthacnut arrived in England, he had Harold's body exhumed, beheaded, and thrown into the River Thames. Finally, Harold's body was pulled out of the water and laid to rest in a cemetery in London.